Hello my friends, it's Milrev, and today we're going to be showing you how to do health bars along with life counters. So you can take damage like this, and once your health gets low enough, then your life counter goes down and you reset your health. This will be extremely useful for making games where you have more than one life. Also, when you fall off the edge of a cliff, it also takes a life and respawns you as well. So first things first, we're going to want to create a respawner. So basically we want to go into sensors and grab a location sensor, then hook it up to our person, head into the settings, and turn it invisible. This is going to tell where our person is because we want to know when to teleport them back. So let's go ahead and call up a constant. This is going to be the value that we want for the Y position. Let's say -5 is a good value, and we're going to need to compare it. So when -5 is greater than our player's Y position, we're going to cause it to teleport. So let's call up a teleport object, entrance, and hook it up to the output here into the person. Head into the settings, and we want to teleport just the person. We'll turn this invisible as well, choose your favorite shape, and you should be good to go. Now you just need a teleport exit. Let's go ahead and look at the overhead view for this. This is where my character is on the platform, so let's head into the teleport object and exit, and kind of put it near where they started so that they can teleport back. We're also going to want to reset the physics here, turn this invisible, and of course your favorite shape as well. And then if we fall off the edge, we should be fine to respawn, so let's see what it looks like. Oh, we're a little bit low. If that happens, you just want to go into the settings here and add a couple of little tenths to the Y position. Now when he teleports back, he should be okay and not in the middle of the object. Just like that. Perfect. But it does seem a little bit lackluster. Let's go ahead and add some sound effects. Let's head back to the normal view here, and if we have a sound, I really like the bell sound. So you can find this under percussion, bell. And that will signify to the player that they've lost a life, which will happen soon. I also like the special effects that we can add to this. I like the light one to trigger. So we'll put that in here. And we want this to be on change from 0 and on camera to make a really cool effect. Let's see what that looks like now. Just like that, now the player knows that they've lost their life and that they need to be more careful next time. You may have noticed that I already had my HUD because this isn't a tutorial on how to build a HUD. That would take a lot more time than this video allows, and there's a pretty good tutorial on it already. I'll leave a link down below in the description for you guys to check it out. For just a quick tutorial, all you want to do is have a box and turn all these off except movable. I use 0 gravity with a Z- to Z+ connection point, and then I use this kind of size for what I'm doing. The Y is a little shorter just so that we can fit all the HUD stuff on there. Then I connect a box up top, which is a lot skinnier. And from that, I'm allowed to put on other HUD items. We have our number box here. We have our box with the character's face on here to show that it's lives. And then on the right side, we have our health box connected with another number box. And another box which shows the character's expression, showing if you have a lot of health or little health or no health at all. And we'll show you guys how to set that one up real quick. Now, if we have this happen, we want to make sure that it takes a life from the player, just to be fair. So let's go ahead and grab a counter, which will tell how many lives the player has. Of course, you can dictate for yourself how many. Head into the settings, and I'll say that they have 5 lives. And we're going to have the count timing on change from 0. We'll also make this a range from 0 to 5. You could make it so that they get more lives than they start with by extending this range as well if you want. Then hook up the comparison node on to the countdown part of your counter, and we're going to need another node on here, wormhole entrance. This will be so that we can tell how many lives are on the HUD and also how many lives are left. So let's change this to L for lives. We also need to remember that the health is going to affect the live counter as well. So let's go ahead and think ahead and put a wormhole exit here. We'll label this one F for fail, and we'll also make this go into the countdown port. That should do it for our live counter for now. I called it respawn, and we can actually move this one up and out of the way. Just as long as it's connected with the blues, we're okay. Let's go ahead and test it out now. So when we jump off the edge here, now it takes away a life each time we respawn, and we should be good to go there. We still haven't set up the health or the fail condition, but we'll get to those next. Find some more space, and we're going to set up the health next. So we're going to need something to detect when we're taking damage. Let's go ahead and use a touch sensor. Make sure your touch sensor is about the size of your person, and check whatever you want to give damage. We also want the output timing on touch so they don't take more than 1 damage per time. Connect it up center. Next, we're going to need a counter to tell when the damage has been taken. And you can also set this one up like you did the live counter. So I'm going to set it up for 3 damage, and also that we can't go beyond 3 health, and also on change from 0. Then hook the touch sensor into the countdown, and make sure you hook this up to your person as well. Next, we're going to need to make sure we can tell when this one is 0, or actually it's better to use less than 1. So let's call up the less than node on. Just in case somehow they take 2 damage at once, you don't want to put equals 0. It's much better to put less than 1. And that'll protect you from that so that you don't get any weird conditions where the player can't fail. We also want to put our wormhole entrance here, and this is going to be our health, so we're going to label it with H. This will allow us to output it somewhere else, like on the HUD, that we need to know how much health we have. So when this counter is less than 1, we want the player to fail, so we're going to use a timer there, a 1-second timer, kind of being generous, so it's not right away. It's kind of more of a better feeling. I don't know how to put it, but it works better if you use it after 1 second. You'll also want to continue this output for 0.05 seconds just so it triggers the counter. Next, we're going to call up another wormhole entrance, and this is going to be our fail condition from earlier. So this will go directly into our life counter. We'll just make it the F. And also whatever effects you guys want to use, I'll probably use the same ones as earlier. Just like that, now we have our very own health. You'll also want to make sure that your enemy has a launcher or whatever you need to give damage. This tutorial's not about that, but if you guys need help, just let me know and I can let you know how to do it as well. The last thing that we need it to do is after we hit 0 and the timer activates, we want it to reset the counter to 3 so that we can reset our health and have a fresh new life. Let's see how it works. So I have the touch sensor over here that activates the spheres. 2, 1, 0, and it resets at 3 and takes a life there as well. Perfect. One more time. Awesome. For the setup on the HUD, we have the health on the right-hand side, and we have the H of our health going into the number object here. And then we also have this box to show the emotions of the character as he takes more and more damage until he's finally gone. So I just have these equaling, for the smiley face, equaling 3 to my health, and we have 2 for this face, 1 for this one, and less than 1 for this one here. As I mentioned earlier, you don't want to have equals 0 because it can mess things up. The last thing we need to build is the fail condition. So we want a way that the character can actually lose, otherwise it'll just keep going forever and this will be pointless. If you remember before, we used 5 and then into the lives counter, so L is our number of lives. That's what we're going to want to use for our fail counter. When this reaches 0, we want to make it so that the fail effect goes into action. So we're going to call a wormhole exit, and we're going to take our L counter here, and of course the first thing we're going to want to do is have a comparison when L is less than 1. We're going to trigger the fail sequence. This is pretty standard. All we're going to do is call up a destroy object node on and hook it up to this. Go into it and make sure you have just person selected. Turn it invisible. And then connect this one to your person. Make sure also your person has destructible by the destroy object node on. Then whatever effects you want to add on top of this for the fail sequence. So I have the tragic fail, the effect failure, and then also I added a timer to a retry node on. All of those are pretty standard, so once this is less than 1, our lives counter should trigger all this. Let's take a look. Alright, so we can jump off the edge here. That's probably the quickest way. We can take some damage here as well. And jump off the edge. Oh, and I just realized if we do this and jump off the edge, it doesn't actually reset your health. So that's one last thing we'll have to take care of before we get out of here. But everything else is working perfectly. So we want to make sure that it also resets when we take a loss of a life here. So let's go into the programs, and of course we're going to grab one of these. Let's go with R for reset. And we'll connect this to this one here in our location sensor. This is the one that resets our position. So we can use this to also reset our health over here. That's why it's good to label things. Wormhole exit. And we'll tack this one on here. Boom. Okay, let's take a look. So now if we take some damage here, we'll go down to 1, and then we jump off the cliff. It resets our health perfectly. And that's all we need, my friends. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, remember to leave a like, and yeah, use this in your future games. Let me know. You can comment down below the game codes. Till next time, have a happy, healthy life, and God bless.